The Dancing Affinity Tempest Trials is here to accompany our dancing themed banner, and it's going to have some great rewards you can earn. For hitting the maximum 50,000 points, you can earn up to 42 orbs, 11,000 feathers, and 80 secret coins. After last month, I think everyone can appreciate those orbs. Since we are in September, you'll want to remember that we are now getting Ephemera 9 divine codes. You can get up to 50 in this event. As for the blessing, we have one wind blessing to go with Legendary Corn from last month. For Sacred Seals, we have Res Feint and Armor March. Then for the reward unit, we have Dancer Eldigan, who is looking quite dapper. You can get a 4-star and 5-star copy. We'll talk about him more later on. First, let's discuss our two new Sacred Seals. Res Feint 3 requires a rally buff to be used by the user or targets the user, and then it inflicts a -7 res debuff in cardinal directions of the unit. This will be our last Feint Sacred Seal, so check off another skill group for the list. Feints are okay seals, but generally the newer Ruse B skills are a lot stronger with double stat debuffs, the guard status, and emitting from both the user and the ally. With Feint debuffs, they only emit from the user of the skill, so positioning is key. They will obviously be best used on a rally buffer, and something like the Awakening Ana is a nice rally buff bot because she can warp to adjacent spaces of nearby allies, which makes it easier to line up your Ruse or Feint debuffs. As with all the Feint Sacred Seals, they aren't exactly super high on the upgrade priority list. It really just depends on if you have a plan for them. Maybe you have a Rally Trap defense team in mind. Our other Sacred Seal is Armor March 3. At the start of the turn, if unit is adjacent to an armored ally, user and adjacent armored allies get 1 extra movement space. So we've had the Armored Boots Sacred Seal for a long time now, but that will deactivate after you take any damage. It also works for one armor unit only, while Armor March can supply multiple allies with that extra movement. While having Armor March in the C slot isn't too bad since that is mainly a support oriented skill slot, having the flexibility to put Armor March on any armor unit is super good. This is definitely a worthwhile Sacred Seal to upgrade if you like armor units, and we do occasionally have armor team quests, so being able to have this movement buff at any time is really nice. We have also been getting more and more combative C skills like Joint Drive or Joint Hone buffs, so perhaps flexing the Armor March skill into the Sacred Seal slot may help a unit's build better. You can also just use the classic Armor Emblem T buffs like Fortifier or Ward Armor. We did just get a very nice refine for Mr. Brave Hector, who would love some extra mobility if you want to be more aggressive. Brave Ephraim also likes Armor March to activate his weapon, but he does come with it by default.
I am Eldigan, Lord of Nordion. I would like you to join me in a dance.
Moving on to our reward unit, we are getting Dancer Eldigan. He will be another free Lance Flyer, but don't write him off just yet. The man does offer some nice traits. Mainly, Eldigan is a flying dancer, and that is a very nice class type since he can just fly over forest, mountain, or water tiles to help out his team. For stats, Eldigan has 43 HP, 38 attack, 26 speed, 37 defense, and 18 resistance. He's not so much different from another reward Lance Flyer, but 38 attack and 37 defense are both solid. Additionally, with this update, the trait changing feature is in the game now, and while we wait to get trait fruits, you may want to think about using it on Eldigan's sweet plus attack super boon. Very nice if you want a lot of damage, although trait fruits will be rare, so don't spend them willy-nilly. As for Eldigan's other stats, his speed and res stats are both on the lower side, so you're going to want to avoid any kind of magical damage. Luckily, Eldigan's weapon can help mitigate some of that weakness. The Courtly Candle Plus is an inheritable 14 might lance, and it's going to work similar to Quan and Lachesis' weapons from the actual banner. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 50%, then grant +5 attack and defense during combat. Also, if the foe can make a follow-up attack, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 50%. So, in the most simplest situations, Courtly Candle will grant +5 attack and defense whenever the user is healthy. That is a great and simple stat boost, and Eldigan has high attack and defense stats anyway, so it works out nicely. Now the interesting part is the second effect, but it requires the user to get doubled. Eldigan is slow, so he should get doubled often, and he'll be able to reduce the first attack's damage by 50%. However, he is still going to take the full force of the second attack, so you can't just expect this weapon to be great for long-term tanking. It can be very good for just surviving one dangerous fight, and since Eldigan is a dancer, that may be all you need. Overall, this isn't a bad weapon since the attack and defense boost is super easy to activate, and there are ways to synergize with the damage reduction effect. Now back to the rest of Eldigan's kit, he comes with Dance naturally. For his B skill he has Caldera Dance 2, which grants +3 attack and +4 defense to the ally that is danced. These dancer only skills are okay, and the dual stat ones aren't too bad, but the B skill is just a very valuable slot, and most times it's filled by Wings of Mercy. Caldera Dance is fine for a general dancer role, but there are many other ways to buff up allies without needing to actually dance them first. Speaking of which, Eldigan has defense opening 3 as his C skill. At the start of the turn, it grants +6 defense to the ally with the highest highest defense on your team, not including the user. The opening skills are great if you want a specific ally to just boost their best stat all the time. It will work from across the map, but do keep in mind it does overlap with Caldera Dance. Overall, the Courtly Candle Plus is the most exciting skill for Eldigan. His other skills are also part of buffs, but that's fine for a free dancer. Now if you plan to merge Eldigan up, at +1 merge, he gets an extra 1 HP attack and defense from the Neutral Nature. He has an attack super boon, but since the trait fruits are going to be hard to get, I would say the Neutral Nature is a perfectly fine option. At +10 merges, Eldigan has 47 HP, 42 attack, 30 speed, 41 defense, and 22 resistance. You do need to add in the extra stats from the Neutral Nature, or +3 for a boon, or +4 for the attack super boon. An attack or defense boon seem to be the best options, but feel free to have fun here. Now for stat comparisons, we only really have two other slow high defense lance flyers. One is Trevant and the other is Altena, who is similar in stats, but she is a 4 to 5 star summonable unit. As you can see, Trevant does have more BST than Eldigan because of the Dancer BST penalty, but Eldigan will still be fine for taking physical attacks. He has more base attack, but Trevant has 3 more HP and 3 more defense. If you wanted a fully merged unit, then Trevant is also cheaper because he is a Grand Hero battle unit. At least Eldigan doesn't come with a Silver Lance Plus. Now the next closest options to compare with would be Volter, Cormac, and Heath, but they all have a good amount of more speed to work with. If you wanted a fast Lance Flyer, we have Sigrun and Cynthia, plus a million of summonable options. While Eldigan may not vastly outdo Trevant or Altena, he is going to have Dance, so honestly, he will be unique enough already. For builds, you can keep things very simple if you don't want to go for premium skills. Courtly Candle gives a nice attack and defense boost already, and adding another A skill with a similar increase would be fine. You could use attack and defense bond, sturdy stance, or even sturdy blow. If you keep Caldera Dance and defense opening, then adding another buffing Sacred Seal would be nice. You could use a second dancer only skill, or just something like attack tactic. It's really up to you. Now for combative purposes, if you want Eldigan to kill stuff, then he definitely needs quick riposte. If you want to up his support abilities in other ways, you could try to borrow air orders from his sister, who is the 4-star focus unit on the banner, and the Sacred Seal slot has aerobatics, flyer formation, or guidance. Not listed, but of course Wings of Mercy is another top tier B skill for a dancer. Now one very impressive combo is using the Courtly Candle with Deflect Magic. I made a mistake in my banner breakdown video because I thought Quan and Lachesis could use Deflect Melee, but turns out range units can't use that. However, Eldigan is a melee unit, and I double checked that he can use all the deflect seals. Deflect Magic is perfect with the Courtly Candle because it grants 80% damage reduction on the second consecutive attack from a tome user. With Courtly Candle giving 50% damage reduction on the first attack, Eldigan can survive a good amount of magic damage should he face a fast mage. I tested this combo against Thracier in a main story map, and she comes at Eldigan with 64 attack total. She deals 58 attack twice, but Eldigan still hangs on with 2 HP. What's crazy is that you could also use Iote's shield and that would protect him from archers, plus he has naturally high base defense anyway. You could add dull range to stop blade tome mages or guard to stop specials, and this is a neat setup if you just want Eldigan to survive a one-off attack. He's not invincible, but Deflect Magic and all these other skills are pretty easy to come by, so it's a very easy build option. Now if you do want to throw premium skills at Eldigan, you could go the more traditional tanking route. You could refine the Courtly Candle for extra resistance, and we have a multitude of res increasing skills for a slower enemy phase type playstyle. A tier 3 Dose Stance would be great for the guard ability, and you can get warding or mirror stance as Sacred Seals. We also have joint hone res from Sigurd on the banner, or you could use Brave Edelgard for joint drive res instead. This type of setup would work fine with the Courtly Candle since it grants attack and defense itself with the damage reduction ability, but there are a bunch of other inheritable lances you can also use. The Flowing Lance from Geese or the Guilt Fork from Spring Narshan are both solid weapons. Then you have the classic Barrier/Percutes Lance and Vanguard Lance if you just want straight defense or resistance for the enemy phase. While Courtly Candle grants defense itself, it only works above 50% HP, so in dicey situations, it does lose all of its bonus abilities. If you would prefer to take a more offensive approach, Eldigan can easily run a Brave Lance setup with your usual Death Blow type skills. It would be extra spicy if you actually get his attack super boon. Last, because Eldigan has good defense for a dancer, he can be another answer to Milla's Turnmill and Aether Rays. You can double stack Fortress defense skills for plus 10 defense, and then you can get another plus 4 defense from her defense refined Lance. Obviously, a super high defense infested Milla may still win out, but Eldigan puts up a great effort with very little investment. Additionally, he has some great support options like the Gossip Plus Lance from Nier's Leg Yarn. That one has built-in chill defense, so you can stack that with another chill skill, and Eldigan has enough HP to apply Panic Ploy on the squishy offensive units. As a dancer, he does provide some pretty nice perks, and you got a ton of build options depending on what you want to do. For some last thoughts, I would say Armor March is the seal worth upgrading just because extra movement for arm units is so nice to have. Res Feint can be good too, but you need to have a rally user already in mind. As for Dancer Eldigan, while he is another free reward Lance Flier, his support capabilities separate him from Trevant and Altena. He can freely move around the map to help his teammates, and there are a lot of Flier mobility skills to make things even smoother. As we mentioned a lot, Courtly Candle is super good for surviving one fight, and that's important for a dancer. Most dancers can offset damage with high speed stats to avoid follow-up attacks, but Eldigan is slow and very weak to mages, so having Courtly Candle's damage reduction really helps out. It also boosts his already great attack and defense stats, so it's definitely a good weapon for him. I'm not sure if it's a weapon for every lance tank out there, but it works nicely with this situation. Overall, since Eldigan already comes at 5 stars, he's easily worth using. Any new player could always use more dancers, and flying dancers are nice for maps with lots of terrain. We do get Peony for free, but getting another flying dancer may not be so easy. Do share your thoughts on this Tempest Trials with everyone in the comments, and what do you guys think about this Eldigan? I do very much like his artwork, so I will say that's another bonus. That's all I got for now. I'll see you guys in the next video.